welcome everyone. I'm David. I'm CTO of Intelequia, also Azure MVP. I'm regional director, and I have with me Christina. Hello,
Hi
Christina.
guys. Hi David. Good morning guys. My name is Christina. I've been working with Intelequia. Well, just a short introduction about Intelequia. We guys are a Microsoft partner, and we have been working with a DNN company and Azure since the early days of cloud. Correct me if I'm wrong, David. We've been building websites. We've been helping businesses across all industries, and we've been collaborating with them, especially with digital agencies with it comes to e-commerce projects as well. Right now, David will be talking about Azure Active Directory, which is B2C. Let's listen to David, guys. And thank you so much for joining us here on our webinar. Really appreciate it.
Okay. So I'm not sure how is it, the audience, the folks that are joining, if they are more oriented to for example to .NET development, to even if they are more focused on development or not. Please feel free on the chat if you want. For example, if you want to introduce for example, have worked previously on DNN or have work on .NET framework and currently working on .NET Core. So what are your interests? So probably and that will also help me on on focus on on some topics when going through the session. So okay, so let me start then. What we are going to see in this session. We're going to see just first a small introduction to what is Azure AD B2C. Okay, so what is this new? Well, this new is not new. But of course, if we compare with Azure Active Directory, is new in in the time. Okay, but Azure AD B2C has been there for, I think that more or less 4 years now. And so we are going to see the interaction of and how it started, how it's going, okay, and what it can offer. So then we can check the built-in features, how you can easily customize and, for example, localize and see with examples, and then also show how we can extend the B2C by using the identity experience framework, that is by using custom policies. So we will see that there are some built-in policies to implement, like the login flows, also what else, the login, registration, and sign-ups, and also reset passwords, those type of user flows. So we'll see that how we can even extend them by using more complex utilities, okay, by using the IEF. Let's start. So what is Azure Active Directory B2C, okay, and what is the difference? So of course, all of us knows what is Azure Active Directory. Is the identity service provided by Microsoft in the cloud. And of course, if you have, for example, a tenant like of Office 365 or an Azure tenant or whatever, if working with Microsoft as an enterprise, so you will have you will already have an Azure Active Directory. So it's the base of where all your users, all the the repository of all users' roles, and and even password and credentials, and all those systems like multi-factor authentication. All of that is the base of Azure Active Directory. So then, what is B2C? So B2C is a service that has been built on top of Azure Active Directory. Okay, so by extending, okay, the current, the current layer of Azure Active Directory, and introducing, for a scenario that is for people developing applications and that are directed from business to customers. So that means that applies to if you are building a desktop application, a website, even with DNN or not, or even a mobile application, or even an API, you can protect those resources and offer them to your customers. And even by using like a local user accounts, the ones in that Azure Active Directory B, tenant, but also by using other identity providers. Okay, by connecting with, for example, with Facebook or Twitter or whatever. So that will help your users to to use the like their own favorite credential. Okay. So, of course, you can also connect, if you have your own tenant of Azure AD B2C, you can also connect your internal user of your company to that, and allow them to log in with the work credentials. Okay, so there is a difference between your, probably between your work tenant, but also that from your B2C tenant. So the B2C tenant must be separated. And of course, what allows is to what I told before, that is to extend, okay, and provide like a white label experience, so you can fully customize all the experience of those sign-in, sign-ups, the password resets, and even more. Okay, thanks to that identity experience framework. Okay. So say that what I'm going to show you first, and I will try to follow in this session, is an example of the global Azure event. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with this event. I'm in fact, with the global Azure event is an event that happens once per year globally. Normally in I don't know, in almost every country in the world. So we see all of that. It's a community event, so of all people that are enthusiastic with with the Microsoft Azure platform. So and we normally we got like 20,000 people in just one day. All of them so teaching in their communities, preparing sessions, or just doing hackathons or whatever. So I'm in fact one of the global admins of the event. So for implementing like the website and other related websites, okay, we use, for example, Azure AD B2C. So, and this is I'm going just to show you how we use it and how we implement it in this website. So as you can see in the in the slide, you can see that we have in the middle like the main website. Okay, this is Azure Global Azure.net, where we have the main site where people use it like a hub. Okay, so if we have like 200 or 300 or 400 locations in the world where the event is happening, so what will and even more in the COVID time where all these like events were like I would say virtual events. Okay, so we like it to implement this like a hub website where all all the 20,000 people from around the world could can register and see like that what is happening on every location in the world. It's like to give visibility. So then we have another website that, this is the main website is for example implemented in .NET Core. Okay. And so then we have like the blog website that is implemented with DNN. Of course, we know that DNN platform is built on on .NET framework. Okay, so but it's using the same identity, the same tenant. And we'll notice now that I will show in the demo is that we will have like a single sign-on between once that you log in one website, you can move to other one. So without even notice that you are logging more than one time. And then we have something like that give us like an opportunity to see or to connect between all the locations. That is to prepare like a lab, a science lab normally, and that everyone in the world that day, for example, plays. And we have like labs, for example, like for cancer research. Other years we have something like, for example, searching for exoplanets by using processing in the cloud, by using machine learning, test data. So we of course need to identify which people is participating in the labs and give credits to them, because then we have rankings, something like that. So we also use that to protect APIs. So I think that is like a good mix of a scenario of different technologies, so different version of .NET, .NET Core, .NET Framework, and seeing all together by using also external identity providers like Facebook, Microsoft, or even GitHub. Okay, connecting to it. Okay. So let me. What I'm going to show now is, of course, start showing. Okay, some of this. So let me share my screen now. Okay, give me a second. Close this and close this. Okay, and close this and this. So I'm going just to show my desktop. Okay, okay, and yeah, I think that I can open this. Okay, so I'm going to share my desktop. So let me show you the first website. So this is the global Azure.net, is the main website that I told you before. So as you can see here, we had in the last April, okay, between the 3 days, we have likely almost 600 speakers around the world with, of course, around almost also 600 sessions. And you can also find here from people from Microsoft, from everywhere, or people from community. So even from, from Learn TV. So you could see that we had a lot of them. So thanks to all these heroes, okay, that also helps to to all of us to understand what is the cloud, how it works, and that stuff. So I will also encourage you to check this this event next year when this happens again. So one of the things that you can see here. So let's focus on the B2C thing. So this is the main website, and if I click on blog, you will notice that this is the one. That is the blog website. Okay, so this is the site that has been built with with DNN, and so I can move between both websites. So Christina, if you can allow, okay. Let's people join. Okay, so so when clicking here on signing, of course this lets me to, of course that was already signing. So give me a second. So if I click on sign in, okay, you will notice that okay, I'm moving now to the Azure AD B2C. So and this screen is part of the built-in built-in policies. Okay, so this is likely the sign up and sign in is a mixed policy where I can sign in or even sign up, or even I can sign in with my identity provider or my favorite social account. So notice that if I, for example, enter with my local account here, well, I would like to first to show you that people can sign up. Sorry. People by clicking here can sign up, and you can see that you need to provide an email address, so you can then verify that the email is real by sending the verification code. Then finish filling all the the rest of the fields. But yeah, so imagine that I have already signed up. Okay, so I can now log in, and so I can now, okay, so, okay, I'm now log in. So it says, hello, David Rodriguez. I can even, for example, click here and change my, my fields. We allow them to, for example, to communicate, and to integrate their local events. We use it by using Sessionize. I'm not sure if you know this this service, but this, this is for free for communities. So, and that they help us to to organize like using session federation, like event federation through the wall. So that was thanks to Sessionize for doing that. So what we ask, for example, each community member, the ones that are organizing events, even is to in the profile, for example, is to extend by using custom attributes to, for example, to set their Sessionize API ID, so we can like federate their session and put here on the hub. Okay, so it's how it works under the hood. So but then I can move it to here to the blog side. And if you notice now, okay, if I move it to the blog side and I click on here and login, I don't have to log in again. So, and this is because we're using like the same policy, okay, the same custom flow. So there's some type of single sign-on between both websites that are using the same. And of course, I'm using the same identity. And if I go and click here and edit the profile as well, it's directing to the same page. So, and this is like how the integration can work between, and that orchestration between different websites and different technologies, okay, working all of them together. And what is more important is that in any case, we're not storing any password, any credential. Okay, so that is in the first place is stored in by Microsoft in Azure, in the Azure AD B2C. And if the people, the users are using their favorite social account, so all the credentials are on the on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever identity provider they are they prefer. So and we don't have to manage that dangerous piece of information that anyone wants to manage these days. Okay, so okay, so how this is, I mean, how I can create, or start, like building this an application like this. Okay, so an application. Let's start by the first example, that is .NET Core application. So first of all, I have to provision a new through the Azure portal a new tenant that is an Azure AD B2C. Okay, that is different from the Azure AD, regular Azure AD tenant. So once you create a resource here, so you create a Azure AD B2C. So this is just to create a B2C. Okay, so thanks for the search, Microsoft. So here you can go and click and create and blah, 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 and well, and you finish and you create. So I have already provision, of course, and this because we're seeing this example. And if we click on the resource, we can see different and interesting parts of that are not included in the regular Azure Active Directory. The first one, okay, is user attributes. So user attributes is okay. We have the built-in that you can see here are the ones that normally comes with a regular Azure AD. Okay, like display name, email address, given name, job title. So those are the regular ones. But then, for example, if I'm going to extend this to, for example, in this case, for a grower hub around talking about communities, etc., I can, for example, create new fields like, for example, community name, community logo, URL. So I can, in fact, just create and extend the schema, okay, of the user repository by using this type of attributes. So each user then will have an attribute like this. Okay, so we have extended with some custom ones that we'll be using in the application. Some of them we'll ask them, we can, for example, include them in the registration or in the profile screens, just to allow them to fill them. Okay. So that is something that is interesting. Second one is, of course, which identity providers I'm going to allow. So by default, we have the local accounts. That is the local Active Directory accounts of this Azure Active Directory. But I can, by default, introduce whatever of this and connect any of this. If I click on any of them, this will open me a help link to, that with some steps I can easily integrate, for example, LinkedIn. So this is step by step how to have what the things that I have to do, okay, to integrate, for example, LinkedIn. Is one of the most complicated ones that I have seen, but some others are more easier, okay, to integrate. Okay, so I'm not sure. For example, if Twitter, you can see that the instructions are shorter. Yeah, depends. This is security serious thing. So anyway, so this, for example, is a smaller one. Okay, so then you have to do some steps, and then finally you integrate here. So then you will allow your users to with their own with a favorite identity to log in your application. So other thing important is the registration. So this then the applications. These are like the relying parties. So like the websites that will be connecting to Azure AD B2C. Of course, you have to have an inventory of those applications, and also specify the OAuth URLs that are valid for redirecting back and for your website. So that is also for security purposes. So finally, what is the important thing here? So let's focus now, starting from now, on these two sections. The first one is the user flows. User flows are those dances, okay, those screens, the sign up, sign in, like the profile and those type of screens, right? So for example, if I choose and create a new one, so these are the built-in, okay, user flows that I can create. There are not so many scenarios. So in fact, I can see three or perhaps two. Why? Because one is the sign up and sign in. That is the one that I showed you before. So where you can sign in with the username and password, and even you can click and sign up in the same page. or you can just say, no, I don't want to allow people to to sign up. I'm going just to provision my users. I'm going just allow them to sign in. So I'm just going to create this one only. So if you see, the sign up and sign in experiences are combined in this one. So, and then in the latest version, the sign up and sign in also include this other one, that is the password reset. Okay, the password reset is part now of the optionally as of this one. So if you choose to get this one, it's likely the only that is different then is the profile editing and using this other policy that is focused for mobile applications. So we're not going to talk on this now. So just for example, if you click on creating this, so let me create one. So you put like a name, so sign up and sign in, for example. Normally people call this like Susie. Sign up and sign in. I have already created Susie, so let's talk Susie 2. So, and then you can say here, okay, in this version, you will allow to what? To sign in and sign up with a local accounts, but also with which providers. So here's the list of providers that I have already set up. Okay, so I can include them, to as an optionally to appear there. Of course, if I want to, to use a multi-factor, remember that this is baked by Azure Active Directory. So most of the features that are, in the Azure Active Directory layer extend to here. Like, for example, the risky users, enforcement, conditional access by using conditional access policies. So all of that also applies here to, to Azure AD B2C. And this is good because this was introduced later, okay? Was not part of the initial launch of the B2C. And finally, if this is the sign up and sign it, page, I can say, okay, if in the sign up case, so I want to collect these fields, okay, or even more. I want to also select, the sign up, the community logo and community URL. And then once that you sign up, then this will create a token. Will create a token with claims that will be then processed by your application. So then you want to include that the fields that you want in the in the application. Okay. So let's see, and even you can, once that you have created, so let me go back and show you this one, okay? So you can even, from here, that is the one that I have created, so I can even test it from here, okay? So I can, for example, and test from, let me just go to, yeah, from here, anyway. So you can just go here, and I can click and see how it works, okay? The looks, the look, and, and test everything. So I can even do more things like even that screen have different page layouts for example, by the version of the, because of course there are versions of that page, or even have a specific version, different UI, depending on the language. Of course, I can, for example, have different version for Spanish than even for English. So, so there are different levels that these built-in policies allows you to, to customize. And I have to say that more or less with the 90%, okay, of the applications, okay, you with the built-in policies, you are okay. So there are no, perhaps if you start thinking on more complex scenarios, perhaps you have to, to start playing with custom policies that we'll see now in a second. But normally with the built-in policies, you are fine. Okay, mostly because Microsoft now understand that at some point you want to do a call in that process, in that login, you want to call your on-premises or third-party API, whatever, and they have started to introduce the concept of API connectors. So API connectors is likely, for example, if you want to imagine that during your sign-up process, you want to check that I don't know, like a coupon or whatever, a sign-up coupon. You want to validate or redeem that coupon before doing the sign-up. You could, for example, create an Azure function or an API, whatever, and create it here. And then in the sign-up process, you will see that. Oh, this is because it's the legacy. And the legacy doesn't support the this one. So let me create quickly a new one here. Susie 2, and do the same thing here. Blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever. Just for creating this. Okay, so you will notice that the latest version, that is the recommended version of this policy. So you will notice that there is it supports this new version supports something that is the API connectors. Okay, so then so that means that when calling when doing the process, it will call this. This will call your API. You will process the whatever is coming, and you will return back a result. So without entering again in the custom policies, because the second part of this session is talking about custom policies, and you will notice that this is not perhaps an easy framework to start with. Okay, it's more pro oriented, but okay. So I wanted to introduce, show you all the possibilities in one session. Okay, so anyway, so the latest version, of course, is, you see, the recommended has more, like the more concept, or more functionalities included than the legacy one. So like the forgot password, for example, is now part of the sign up and sign in, the change password. So there's a lot of versions, and even with the version here, it from time to time, you get more features, more rich features in the same flow. What is good, because you don't have to. Probably I remember that in previous talks, I needed to implement the forgot. No, not the forgot. The force change password. Okay, with a custom policy was really hard. Okay, to implement that with custom policies. Now it's part of this. So without doing anything. So the good thing of this is that you will get like features without having to go to custom policies. Anyway, so say that. So okay, so I have these policies. So how I can integrate them with my application? So well, let me show you. This is an application. This is the virtual website. Okay. So, and this is a .NET Core application, and of course, the first thing that I need to do is to reference a Nugget package. A Nugget package that is to include the Azure AD B2C. So this is to start referencing in my code that when I'm going to just to do something in my application, we'll call the UI to redirect and do this orchestration, okay, and ensure that the .NET stack or all the calls and all the thread is secured by the identity that the user has logged in. Okay, so say that after referencing this, so for example, the next one is to go to my startup file. Okay, that is this one. Okay, and just introduce this line. So let me just to separate this and put this more focus. So so this is the line that I need to to put. Okay, so it's like service and this extension method that is to add authentication by using the authentication scheme Azure AD B2C. Okay, and then with which options? Okay, with which policies, which tenant. So where I'm going to connect, of course. So I can then specify those options, and this is like specifying. Go to to the settings of the application and search for this section. So and get everything from there. So if we see here, okay, we can see that this section is this one, and this is the clean ID, this domain. So well, this is public information that you will notice that will be put in the URL. So so this is the thing that is part of the tenant, okay, and the application and the domain and the policies for sign in and sign up, and all the others. Okay, with this, and then finally, of course. So the controllers. So if I go to, for example, to the application that's sign in, okay, so just by introducing just this line of code, that is challenge and the URI after login, this will do everything. Will connect, that Nugget package will connect my application, will go to the Azure AD B2C, everything will happen in the other side, and when coming back to the URL, will ensure that it was successful or not, okay, and if it's successful, will come with a token, okay. So then we will process that. The framework will process that token and will validate. Our application will start working with Azure AD B2C, okay. In the sign out, similar thing, okay. So it's like a sign out. So these are methods from from that as I told you, from that Nugget package that we have referenced, And so, and with that, so okay, after sign out, what we are going to do? Okay, so going to a callback URL that will be okay. After signing it out, what do we have to do? So going to create to home page. Okay, so this is how that works. Okay, so remember that if I go to the application to here, so this they are like going to the sign out. Okay, as you can see in here below. So this is like the sign out controller. So this, of course, you will notice that went to the B2C and clear, expire the token, clear the cookies, whatever, and came back. So if I click sign in, okay, it will redirect to the sign-in controller. Okay, so it's like easy. Okay, so you can see it's quite easy to do it. Okay, so of course I'm going back to the slides 1 second. So let me go back here and stop sharing this and share. If you have any question or something, please raise your hand or put in the chat, so Christina can also interrupt me. Okay, and we can focus on on whatever thing at any point. Okay, so let me then share back the slides and and let me go to the next one. Okay, no, this one. Okay, so now that we have done an introduction to Azure AD B2C and how to create even a .NET Core application and connect with a B2C and with the built-in flows, probably we'll have like a 10% of scenarios where we can go like further. Okay, we're going to go customizing more those the pages, or perhaps splitting that in in different tabs, or doing different calls to an on-premise API at some point. So how we can do that? Well, so that so the current policies, the built-in policies, are in fact created by using the Identity Experience Framework, so IEF. So, and it's all like a configurable policy driven, sorry, and hosted in Azure, that orchestrates all these flows, and it's a combination of XML files plus HTML and CSS. So, well, after saying that XML, HTML, and CSS, you will say, "Oh, this is horrible." And I'm not going to, to lie. It's not easy, okay? Because not the HTML and CSS, because that is like any, like building any page, and this is like for making up, and doing some, setup, changing colors, changing images. So adding JavaScript, you can add your own JavaScript, or even your, libraries of, you can use even React if you want. But the problem is probably the policies, okay? Because the policy is like programming with XML. So, and we'll show you now in a second what that means, and it's not easy. So if you want to start by taking a look, so there's a link there. I'm not sure if you can click on it, because I think that yes, right? Because you can even should be clickable that link, but anyway, so I can share later and I think that anyway, so I can share that later. Because I'm going just to also to do the second demo by visiting that page. So the idea is that also I would like to again focus on the difference between the built-in user flows that are the ones that we saw before. Remember, there are like those three scenarios: sign up and sign in, change password, and probably the change profile. Okay, so are those three scenarios. So and as I say there, so solve the most common identity task, like the 90%, and are like focus for the for really put you up and running. Is in likely 1-2 days, so you have your website connected, working, and easy to start. So then you have these custom policies, and are based on XML configuration files to define the behavior. Okay, so you can even for example, hey, what happened with for example, if I have a DNN platform okay, and I want to share the, for example, the tenant between different portals, is there any way that I can share the same one or not? So of course I'm thinking that I could, for example, extend the custom attribute, create an attribute that would be the portal ID. Just thinking loud of different examples, okay, of possible scenarios there. Okay, so and this is for of course for more sophisticated scenarios. So how this works? So there is like for each policy you have like 3 levels. So you have a base file that is an XML file that contains all the definitions. So for example, what type of claims you want to use. For example, the regular ones like email, first name, given name, etc. But also must contain, if you are going to extend, you will need also to declare all those claims in that XML file. Also, there are some like functions that you can call from the other ones. Okay, so the others in the app to start, to show the dance. Okay, the steps of your flow. Okay, so then you have the base file, then you have the extension file that is okay. So normally the base file is generic for almost everyone. So the extension file is where you put your specific things for your tenant. Okay, as I said, if you are going to use one new claim that is not normally known, that is unique for you, you will create them in that extension file. And finally, you will create a third one that is a relaying party. That is depends mostly on the application. So you will create or mostly application or a scenario. So say that, for example, think that the sign in, for example, is a relaying party file. Okay, is the sign in. It's like the name of the policy. If you have the, for example, the reset password, so there's another relaying party. Okay, that depends on the other ones, on the extension and the base. So these are like an inheritance that you can also override in that way. It's okay. So let me go here, and I want just to jump really to the sample, because when seeing the sample, I think that you would probably understand better this area. So then, of course, which type of things you can do with custom policies? You can do and extend this with those XML files in this way. So when somebody calls your application, your relaying party, okay, like the .NET application, .NET Core application, or the .NET, or even an API, then this will redirect to the Azure AD B2C and with a policy in the URL. Okay, so just the application it really like put that as a parameter, okay, the policy name. So then in the policy, that is a set of XML files, you can do different type of calls. Or for example, you can verify that the user exists or not in your tenant. You can then also redirect to the social identity provider just to sign up. You can, for example, also do related tasks about the multi-factor authentication. And different lot of them. And what is a good one is this one, okay, the REST API, because this is like a Pandora box. Okay, it's like allows you to fully extend, okay, with a call into an Azure function or to your on-premise API or to whatever system, process the request and return back claims, okay, to here. So and then even validate or whatever. So this is what allows an extend to fully extend and do whatever you want. Okay. And finally, after processing all of this, the last one is the last step is, of course, to issue the token. So finally, remember that the intention of each policy is to enter here and do a user flow, and finally generate a token with claims or raise a failure. Okay, so that's how this works. So let's see this with a demo. Okay, so I'm going in this case just to open also the again to share my screen. Okay, so the scenario is okay. So where's the scenario? Give me a second. The scenario, the name. I had to click here. Okay. Think on this scenario. For example, imagine that I have the Global Azure website, and somebody is reporting me that this page doesn't work just for him or for her. Okay, so how I can validate that and of course, as a good practice, I don't want to ask them for credentials. I don't want. I told you that I want to ask for credentials. Even I would not like to ask for their Facebook or Twitter credentials. Of course, if they sign it up with that. So how in the hell I'm going just to to do that? So if we go to this GitHub location, that is GitHub Azure AD B2C samples, you will notice that there are a lot of policies with scenarios like this one, like the one that I'm mentioning. So as you can see, there are a lot. Okay, yeah, and so this is how the first repository probably that you would like to visit when building and starting to work with custom policies, because yeah, if that 10% of complex scenarios are solved here, okay, in this custom policy that community that the community is already doing, you know, and growing this repository. One of those scenarios is the impersonation, the scenario that I'm talking. So in this scenario, I introduce my credentials. I'm validating that that I can impersonate, okay, because I can create like an attribute here. So let me go to here and put this attribute like this, can impersonate. Indicates if the user can impersonate as others. It's like a right, okay, that I can set to some specific users, okay. So then after that, after login, when calling that is impersonation flow, then I can I have to provide the like the email address of the account that I want to impersonate. So this will allow me to finally go to the application. So this will get a token that will be processed by the application. So finally I will arrive in the my final application with my with this token. Okay. So so if you go here to the policy, you will notice that I will open this in Visual Studio Code. I think that I have that here, not here. Here, I think that are in this folder. Yeah, okay. So, and these are the three files that I'll tell you. So the first one is the base, okay, the file. So look at that. So it's huge, okay. This file is huge, and normally you don't have to modify this thing unless that you want to, for example, to modify like the HTML and graphics. So you have to just come here and change the default HTML for these URLs, okay. But normally you don't have to modify this file just only for that. So the next one, okay, so this is now also for specifically for my tenant, okay. So in this case, I would like to go to here and set up, for example, hey, I'm going to use this claim, okay, that is the can impersonate, because I want to to check if the user can impersonate or not, okay. And of course, I want to then here, and this is where is the most important part. That is where it starts. So how the impersonation flow works. So first of all, I have to check that that the user is signed in or not. Then read the object, the user from it, and then check if the user has that extension that is able to impersonate or not. So, so you can see all these steps and all these checks are done by using XML. Okay, we'll share in the last slide how to where you can learn. Okay, with a progressive curve of learning. Okay, all these functions and and examples. So then after checking the you can impersonate, you can then present in the screen the target email. So which user you want to impersonate at the end. So at the finally, this will remove that impersonation from the user. So because the impersonating the attribute is only one time. And finally, this is like a login with that other user, and finally create the token with the claims that has been collected by the previous steps. Okay. Finally, this is the file that is a modeled file. That is how we can declare this to the application and put the claims that we are going to give to the application. So okay, so this was the hard part. So how I can upload then this file? So remember that we have here the where's the Azure AD B2C. So there was here like another part, okay, identity experience framework. So here is where you can start learning, okay, about custom policies. So by clicking on these links, and one of that is after you learn about this, so you will have like here like a page where you can start uploading these files. Okay, so you have to, to upload one by one. Okay, one of them. And after uploading one of them, you will have like these ones. Okay, so I have in fact here 2 scenarios, but we are focusing on the impersonation. Of course, then after editing, imagine, okay, I have an issue. I need to again to upload, and this is like a not it's not so good experience. So I totally recommend there is like an application here that is a B2C custom policy manager that you can use for. You can target the where you have that policy files, and then you can upload them at once. Okay, so and then even you can test from here. So it's quite useful. Okay, for when developing this and authoring this type of files. So let's see in action. So what I'm going just to go now is to my local DNN copy of the website, Global Azure DNN DNNDev.me. Sorry, and I'm going just to sign in the same way. Of course, hotmail.com and password. This one? Yes. Okay, logging in. Of course, this is like as I told before, it's a DNN platform website. Even we have built a model just also to set up the B2C here in an easy way. Okay, so where we can use mappings of the tokens, so we can integrate easily, this into the CMS. So if you're using DNN, please ask us about how to increment. To easily integrate this, but you will also find that under github.com/Intelequia, because it's open source model. Here we have DNN Azure AD B2C provider. So you can download the model from here. You can install it in the platform, and you will learn how to set up step by step. Okay. So after doing that, you will end with a DNN website connected with Azure AD B2C, like this one. And what with that model, we have included like a model for managing users. Okay, so in fact, for the purpose of the demo, there is also an option to filter the users that you want to manage. So, and I want just to manage in this case the ones that start with which name is David Rodriguez or family or Joe or Doe family. Okay, so those are the ones that are being shown here. So imagine that I'm David Rodriguez and Jane Doe is telling me that she has a problem. Okay, so how can go here without the fact that using a change password and and take a using a new password, then testing and then telling her, hey, please go now and change your password again. So it's not a good experience. So, and this is what we have implemented with that policy. Okay, so when clicking here, the first action that the website does is to change my can impersonate attribute in my directory to this user, to me. Okay, so remember that we created like an attribute here, user attributes, that is can impersonate. Okay, so it's like changing to me when clicking here that attribute. And just after doing that, the model, what it does is to redirect me to the Azure AD B2C website with that policy in the URL. We'll see that in the URL now. So I'm clicking here. That will change my my can impersonate. So then this is, if you see this URL in the here. So let me try to put this a bit bigger or something. So this is now on the website, on the B2C website, and it's passing me the some the parameters. But at some point here, what is that exactly here? The policy is in the impersonate policy. Okay, impersonate. Okay, here it is. Okay, impersonation. So this is my custom policy. So the P dash, this is my custom policy that I'm using for impersonation. Okay. So what I'm going just to do now is just to say, okay, I'm David, but I want to see what happened with janedoe.com without asking credentials in any way. So, and this will redirect me back to the website. And if you notice now, I haven't asked for, to her those credentials, but B2C, okay, I have, that policy has validated that I'm able to impersonate users, and I'm finished now with Jane Doe. So now I can see the website like Jane Doe without asking any credentials. So this is an example of using, a more complex scenario by using custom policies. Okay, so that's the demo that I wanted to show about custom policies. I hope that that has not been too hard to understand. But in fact, I'm going just to finish just by continuing here with this in this way. Okay, because I want probably to share some more links that I want to show on the screen. Okay, so just to finish with some tips and tricks. Yeah, so debugging this is a bit tricky. Okay, so for example, if you have an issue or whatever, it's hard. So I recommend there's a Azure AD B2C extension for Visual Studio Code. That once that you set up here, you will notice that once installed, you can like see and navigate through different part of the of here of the of the policy. So because if not, would be a bit crazy just to to move and to move from here and from different part of the XML. So I totally recommend that. So it's an extension. So second is to instrumentalize the custom policies with application insight, because that will allow you to debug and even see where users are failing or or going through that flow. You can start sending the application to the application insight and then look for information there. Of course, the custom policy manager, this is URL is of course an open source project that is also in this location. So, and it's the one that I show you here. So because it will help you a lot on that. And of course, at the end, it's like using this return URL when authoring these policies, because it will allow you to inspect, the result of like in this case that I'm returning the reply URL is that URL. I will be able to, let me try, hotmail.com. No, if I put the, yeah, right. And let me put again Jane doe.com, and we'll redirect to that jwt.ms that allows you to inspect these tokens. So just to verify and that you are using the good, like the good thing, who impersonated, all the claims. And in fact, you can see here explanation of each claim. So this will allow to you to also to work with them. So, and of course, there is an amazing blog. There is from Rory Brooks. Okay, that is in the next page. So I totally recommend, because it has a deep knowledge on on B2C and B2C policies. So I would totally recommend also to check that blog. And yeah, and that's all. I think that that is what I wanted to show about on this today on this demo. So I think that we are in time. So I think that we have 5 minutes for questions. I'm not sure if is there people there yet. Anybody have?
Feel free to ask David for some questions, guys. Don't be shy.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so I'm not sure if any on the audience has are developing with DNN platform. Any of you? Don't be shy. Okay. Things are Oh yeah, I can go back and share the links. Even I can even sorry. I think that I can do something better. That is to share the slide in the previous way. Sorry. I'm going to share again the slides and move here. I think that was the last one, almost. This one. Can you confirm me that those links are clickable? If not, I can copy them. There's something other thing that I can do.
It is.
Okay. Sorry. Anyway, I'm also going to put them here in the chat. Wow, it's a huge the size of the font. Let me use horrible. Why can't put this smaller in Word? Something. Okay. Okay. This, I think this is better. I'm going just to put them here. Yeah, this is better. Okay. Okay. And in any case, so you can also find me also on Twitter or even you can ping us directly to Intelequia or contact Christina. Also, Christina, if you want to share your contact details, okay, here in the chat, you can also, I mean, people can ping you and, you know, start any conversation.
Thank you, David.
Okay. Okay, so in any case, thank you for your time. I hope that this has been useful for you. And yeah, hopefully we can see you soon. Okay.
Thank you guys for attending our webinar. And thank you so much, David, for giving us this wonderful demo.
Okay. Thank you to you all.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.